Hello. Why are my cameras not working? Off to a fantastical start. Give me 2 seconds. There we are. Now we're back. Hello, everybody. I have no idea why switching the scene in my OBS decided to kill all of our cameras, but we are here. Welcome back. It's been a bit since our last stream, and we are back this week with our standard D&D campaign. So, you may notice that we are down one of our regular players. However, hopefully they might jump in later. I have no idea. Fully up to texts I end up getting later during the session. For now, though, we have three lovely players in addition to myself, Melise, your dungeon master. Would you three like to introduce yourselves, starting with Rose?
Oh no, peer pressure. Hi, I'm Rose. I play Cam. Cam is the most ADHD artist person in this group and is perpetually distracted by everything that looks pretty. Last we left off, they picked flowers and had a lot of fun. On to more fun.
Yep. That is Rose. May, who are you and who are you playing?
Hello, everyone. I'm May, and I've just realized my buttons are off, and I hate this.
Oh no!
But I play Fig. That's probably one of his character traits as well. I wonder why. But he is an academic who is also a conspiracy theorist to all of his other peers, and he's here trying to do the best he can in his old little half-orc cleric ways.
Yep, thank you so much, May. And last but certainly not least, Sunny K, who are you playing today?
Hello, my name is Sunny K. I am a musician, and I am currently playing the Bachelor of Science, the Bachelor of Medicine, and the Queen Bitch himself, Vasil Vitali. Will he break his curse today? Maybe, maybe not. But right now, he's currently in the Shadow Realm with a giant spotlight on him.
You are in fact playing such a horrible character that I just had to drop your audio because you were peaking everything.
Sorry. Also, if for those of you on stream, if you hear something in the background, that is a fan. It is very necessary because I live in a continent where everything is hot and the legislators want to make it hotter. So, I'm
Also,
going to
you're
keep
bald.
myself as cool as I can.
Sorry, I had to shout it out because I know that you were very proud of that haircut.
Gotta do everything you can to ventilate in this kind of weather.
So, with that being said, where did we leave off last week? Would any of you like to recap, or should I recap us?
I mean, I have it written down somewhere.
Go, by all means, May, go ahead.
I do this exactly for this purpose.
It's true. All of May's notes are also all of my notes.
Because it's like where we started last session, we had like just fought a whole bunch of bandits, and then we captured one, and then we made friends with one. Maybe Throkin's gonna have a date after this. I don't know.
Do we remember what that bandit's name was? Was it Jeremiah?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was Jeremiah.
It was Jeremiah. Thank you.
Yes. We learned his name is Jeremiah Shieldbrother, if you'd like the full one.
I did remember Shieldbrother, yes.
Yes, but so after that fight, we have slowly made our way over to the field with the flowers that we needed for said cure, and various other sickness seem to be happening at very odd times. Like right after we were in a bubble of darkness and ash where we got weird magical items again. So yeah, we are very concerned about
those magical items.
I
did have a question about those magical items very, very quickly because those magical items require attunement, and I don't remember any of you attuning to them during your last short rest. Did any of you want to retroactively attune to your items? I will not offer this again.
Does Vasil actually have an item that's for him?
No.
Okay. Then no.
Fair enough.
Cam is just mostly confused, so hasn't quite figured out what the point of it is yet. So just carries it
You're
around.
not attuning to the mask? Fair enough. May, you have that book. That is the only item that does not require attunement. Just so you are aware. Yeah, great, cool. Continue, please.
Yeah, and so, yeah, we have decided to, I suppose, voluntarily bring Jeremiah, because he's our friend now, I suppose, to our doctor in our class, who I believe is Dr. Marog.
This is correct. Dr. Hoskati Marog, the chief doctor of the Ironcliff Council, specifically, which is basically the big government in the city that you guys are currently in. So, with that
I believe we...
Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, it was just, I think we saw the start of the city, and we tried to get to the building, but we have not gotten to the doctor as of yet.
Correct. Well done. With all of that out of the way, I will set the scene on where you guys left off a couple of weeks back. So, you have all arrived inside Ironcliff, and now Ironcliff is a city that is built inside of a seaside cliff. You go in at the top, and then you watch as the city digs down, 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 down through an old, mined out iron vein, to the point where when you look over these very thin pathways around the edge, no railings, just very intricately carved steps and paths, you can see all the way down until your vision gives out into the darkness and into the like smelteries below. You all are very near the top of this city in the governmental district, where through two large carved stone doors, gorgeous granite that was very clearly placed here lovingly, one side carved with a dragon, each scale very meticulously inlaid with rubies, and the other side, a dwarvish man with a large, what looks to be lumberjack's axe, and a small dog, a Pomeranian, sitting next to his foot. Through these doors, you enter the main entryway of the council chambers and the council building, where you see our three lovely adventurers here, along with one other one named Throgan, who is not with us today, standing around a small, a young adult, a young dwarvish adult named, I've completely forgotten his name, Gingerbeard, named Gingerbeard. Now, Gingerbeard is, again, very young, think early university, early bachelor's student, and is one of the boys, you could think of them most as the primary, civil servant force of Ironcliff, doing everything from guard duty to clerical work to standing like Gingerbeard in front of the little pseudo TSA scanner before you go into the government building. And where our lovely, lovely adventurers had just left off, they had heard Gingerbeard coughing. And Vasil, I believe it was you, had seen small bits of ash come out of his mouth, along with black cables snaking along the ground, looking almost like hempen rope that had been smoothed, that had been that had been waxed until shiny, sneaking just around the corner, and you were never able to quite see where it began or ended. This is the third person you've seen with this symptomography. The first being your friend, the bandit Jeremiah, and the second being your friend Throgan, not coughing up ash, not surrounded by this rope, by this cable, but rather when they had gone through the scanner, when they had gone through the runic circle that is meant to check for any sort of appearance-altering magics, burn away any appearance-altering magics to reveal what is underneath. When that rune activated on Throgan, his feathers were burnt away into this same sort of dusty gray ash before being regrown out of his body. So, what would my three lovely players today like to do with this information?
Well, was Vasil the only one who saw this?
You also have him coughing. Vasil is the only one that has seen the cables so far, unless Vasil shares that information.
He points at Gingerbeard. Did you see a merchant? A merchant with no face.
Sorry. What?
Is he-
What? A merchant with? No, most merchants have faces. There was a changeling that came through like 3 days ago. Is that what you're talking? Like they have faces. Kim, you have a face.
Not Cam. Not a. I don't believe a changeling. A creature that makes the air fill with ash.
No. But that could be any wizard.
I don't mean to alarm you, and he brings his voice down. I believe you may have potentially come into contact with something that is contagious, and I know not what it means for the general public or their health, but I do believe it is worthwhile to further investigate, as I have spotted a magical aura on you, indicative of interacting with this patient zero.
Wait. Patient zero? Like the wait, like an outbreak?
I don't want to say that because that raises an unnecessary amount of alarm. I simply believe that it is worthwhile to further investigate with Dr. Marog at your
Speaking
earliest.
speaking of
Would you
which,
come with us to see her?
yeah, we were on our way to see her. We have the item that she wished for us to collect.
I mean, I can't just leave this unguarded. If you give me like 5 minutes, I can bring in my brother.
Yes, find a replacement. I will detect. Well, how long does that last?
Oh, I do believe you did pop a detect poison into these at the end of last session.
Yes.
I think it's 10 minutes.
It's concentration up to 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
would that still count? Would I be able to inspect the brother as well?
Yeah, I'll say it'll take about 5 minutes for the brother to get here. I'll say that you can inspect the brother as well.
No problem. Do we see it on the brother, I
Very,
wonder?
very quickly. I'd like all of my players to just say something briefly because we were having some audio issues and I want to make sure those are fixed.
Something.
Something.
I'm here. Hello. Hi. Yes. No.
A, B, C,
Yes, okay.
D, E, F, G.
We're good.
Z,
Oh,
Y,
I
X,
killed the
W,
cameras
U,
again,
Z.
unfortunately.
I used to be able to do it backwards.
There we go.
Not
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah, sorry, I had to tab out to go to the Twitch to check the audio and then it killed the cameras. We're back.
And in English too, what a vile language.
So yeah, you see as Gingerbeard basically goes over to his little podium that's next to sort of the runic scanner. And you see he picks up this rock. It's very small, fits in sort of the palm of his hand. And you see that he just sort of holds it up very briefly, puts it back down, and then within 5 minutes you see another young-ish dwarf. You see that this one has a little bit more of a full beard, more of a mutton chop look going on, come running out. And this one you can tell is a little bit older. There's some lines, around the corner of his eyes, some lines around sort of his mouth. And you see them having a hushed conversation really quickly, just before
Also, just as a precaution, so if Chet or anyone doesn't know, we have leveled up after our last fight. I decided to get protection from poison because it seemed relevant.
Now, good thing to shout out, May. However, you have not actually leveled up yet. You will level up as soon as you turn in those flowers. I just wanted you guys to do it because I didn't want to fight it during the session.
Okay. I'll wait.
Thank you. Alright. You see a little hushed conversation happening between the two of them. I need to roll some dice about it. Also check if the VTT works. Oh, okay, that's a good dice to roll. And then with that, I've killed the cameras again. There we go. OBS is really not liking me tabbing out today. But I rolled some dice, and then you see Gingerbeard sort of walk over to the two of you, or the three of you, and be like, okay, yeah, I can leave the post for a little bit. Sean there will take care of it.
Does the brother appear to have the same indications, symptomography as Gingerbeard?
Vasil, you see that there is one ping on Sean. You see that he has a cold sore on his lip. That's it. That's the only thing that detect poison and disease finds.
Interesting. Gingerbeard, would you be so good as to come with us to see Dr. Marog at this time?
Yeah, I can do that. That's absolutely fine. I assume you guys have an appointment, or at least an open appointment?
We do. In fact, we are delivering something at her request to her, which we have painstakingly collected.
Great. I think I let Cam and Throgan through the side door last time, so we're not gonna play that out again. We can just head down now. That's called the DM doesn't want to do it again. We can have some changeling racism, but I don't want to overdo the changeling racism.
Cam's gonna be like meticulously looking over their appearance because like this guy just kind of outed them as a changeling, and they don't feel ready for that.
That's fair. That's
so after that, they're just gonna be like fidgeting with some clay.
The standard being beige at airport security experience of, hey man, how's it going? How you doing?
Fair.
Hey, how you doing?
Also, I just realized I didn't give my cat food yet, and he's starting to meow. So I'll be here, but I will be like gone for like 30 seconds.
Oh no, the baby Cam though. I see him in the background.
Baby Cam.
Baby Cam.
Baby Cam.
This is what gets us viewers, I hope.
No, come back.
So, you three and now Gingerbeard as well end up walking through some corridors. You walk past like a secretary's booth. Again, everything appears to be carved out of the same sort of stone that was just here when Ironcliff was dug out. Everything appears to have been molded in. The chairs are sort of the only things that are at this point separated and upholstered to be a bit more comfortable. You see, especially as you're walking down these hallways, at about what you would think is shoulder height, head height for dwarves. So for a bunch of you, it's around your hips. You see these friezes carved into the walls. And these are things including trebuchets being built. You see one that is like a fleet of very clearly elvish ships being sunk during a siege. You see a dwarf with big shoulder plates, like a very stereotypical Viking's helmet, stood there like pickaxe in one hand and a smeltery cauldron in the other. Which Fig, you would actually Fig and Cam, because you were both from the city, you would recognize this as one of the founders of Ironcliff, or at least the popular myth behind why Ironcliff is here. And you just see friezes like this of dwarven history that would, be important to the area, carved into the walls. Eventually, you get to a small waiting room, again with some nicer furniture. Everything here is, hi, Emperor, thank you so much for the raid. Hi, we have viewers now, guys. Hello. Just a quick shout out for everyone in chat. I don't check chat while I'm DMing most of the time. So thank you. I will keep this fire for you, Emperor. I hope you had a lovely stream. Back to our lovely game. You are in a small waiting room, and again, it's been carved out of this lovely rock that was already here in Ironcliff. All of the chairs, while they are nice and while they look comfortable, they also look very, very easy to clean, as if, cleaning up after any strange infected person that walks in is something at the front of Dr. Hoskati Marog's mind. And as the three of my lovely adventurers knock on her door, you hear from inside oh, come in. And pushing it open, you will see a small dwarven woman. She is dressed in a white coat that secures with a belt around her waist. You see that she is still wearing very clearly work pants, like they're very thick, hard to puncture. And you actually see that her flaming red hair has been tied back in a bun today. A couple of curls escaping around her face. And you would notice that there are tissues set up on her table. Again, it's a doctor's office, so everything is very, very clean. But you see that there's just a little bit more paperwork than usual that's in a bit of disarray on her desk. Oh, hi. How can I help you all? And you see that she like picks up a big old mug, takes a swig, and puts it back down.
We have 2 items of business for you today, Dr. Marog.
Yeah.
Chamomile, would you do the honors?
I'm assuming that means chamomile had the flowers, which also means that chamomile will have lost the bag of flowers somewhere in the bag of other stuff. So they're gonna spend approximately 30 seconds just frantically digging through the bag before just retrieving it with like no issue.
Anytime, any day now, Chamomile.
There you go, doctor.
Thank you so much. Oh, wonderful, and you filled it completely up. Good. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. This is easily more than enough. If you give me, if you give me about 3 minutes, I can have that spell scroll written for you. It's been a difficult week. Vasil?
Is the
Sorry, I don't
detect
know your
poison
name.
is the detect poison and disease still on?
The detect poison disease is still on. Why do you ask?
Was that a Valentine sneeze or a Dr. Marog sneeze?
Vasil, as you look at Dr. Hoskati Marog, you start to feel shivers crawling up your spine. As you see that those tissues she has on her desk appear to be a little bit more used than they were a few days ago. As you see in the wastebasket, that same fine gray ash. And now looking at her coat, you can see her elbow where she had just coughed into has a little bit of gray smudging on it as well. In her lungs, looking at her, you see what looks to be roots growing up through her bronchial tubes, through her trachea. She is infected.
Dr. Marog.
Yeah. What is it? And
I-
she takes out like some parchment from one of her side drawers, and you see as she starts to pull out like a very fancy looking inkwell.
Before you begin, I mean not to alarm you. I believe you may be infected with a contagion that is very rapidly affecting a variety of individuals that we have come across in our travels. I have observed a symptomography in Gingerbeard here, our colleague Jeremiah, and now you.
I mean, I've had a cough for a couple of days, but I assumed I was just picking up the same thing that's been going around recently. It's
I mean not to disrespect you, doctor, or speak low to you in your prowess, but is it not uncommon for one to be coughing up ash?
What do you mean?
If you were to cast detect poison and disease or some manner of spell that would gain you true sight, you would see you appear to be spouting ash as if a volcanic eruption. There are hyphae in your bronchial tubes.
And with that, you will watch as Dr. Hoskati Marog ends up sitting there. You see as she starts to move her hands in a very specific motion, just sort of in front of her shoulders. And you see as she begins to mumble under her breath. Neither of you, or none of you, seem to hear words. Rather, it's more you see that she is speaking them ever so slowly, ever so gently. Vasil, you would be able to recognize this. I think Fig, you would also be able to recognize this now as detect poison and disease. And she sees and she goes, she sort of looks around a little bit. You see that she like looks into her wastebasket. She just sort of looks like at her sleeve where she had just coughed. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about. I see standard signs of a respiratory infection, but nothing out of the ordinary.
I believe that this is no ordinary virus. This appears to be of a different phylogeny than your standard upper or lower respiratory illness. I would need to see it under a very specific scope were it to be. I don't mean to blow this out of proportion simply because I don't have the credentials to
Yeah, also,
entirely
Vasil,
prove my theory.
Where did you get your medical studying from again?
You know very well that I do not have a completed medical school degree.
Bachelor.
What do you studied in Hakshar?
I actually never established where he studied. So yeah, let's say he studied in Hakshar. Hakshar being the capital of the continent in which we are playing.
I graduated with a Bachelor of Medicine, specializing in virology and epidemiology from the University of Hakshar.
No, you didn't. Your focus, I do believe, was life after death.
You're right.
Sorry, not to actually my own player
right.
here, but you guys do actually have your thesis in your possession.
I didn't create this character. I'm merely puppeting him for your enjoyment.
I am. It's very good. Yes, your bachelor, Vasil's Bachelor of Medicine was very specifically in the end of life and in looking at resurrection type spells.
Thanatology and resurrective sciences.
Oh, I mean, that's a fascinating study. But, yeah, I'm not quite sure. Look, I'm sure you're correct. I mean, you seem very smart. You were able to pick out that I am under the effects of some sort of virus, which is, no easy feat. Or not virus, some sort of infection, which is no easy feat.
She just called him smart. I'm going to have him roll a charisma saving throw.
Oh, no. I'm waiting for the VTT to show me the roll.
He learned nothing today.
His ego is roll.
His ego has been thoroughly stroked.
I don't see the roll. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I can see it.
Well, not my problem because it's public.
Oh, there it is. No, it was just taking a while to load the oh, I've lost the cameras again. No, today my OBS has decided that if I'm not tabbing between the things actively, it's just gonna like cut one out. I don't know why. So
fun.
He's learned nothing today. Wonderful. Well, look, I'm sure you're correct. So there is a couple of options here. We do know that there is something going around already. There has been it's a winter cold, it's a winter cough that's been going around. The standard that you get every winter in the mines. That's actually why I needed you to get flowers. We're a bit short on our treatment supply. But what I could do is I could I don't think setting down a quarantine is the correct decision yet, because we don't know yet what we're dealing with. But depending on how my examination of your friend here, Gingerbeard, goes, and your other friend, you've brought somebody else in. I'm sorry, I've never met you, young man. Jeremiah, who's sort of standing in the back room, goes, Jeremiah, my name is Jeremiah, ma'am? Doctor, ma'am? Oh, Jeremiah, nice to meet you. And however I examine Jeremiah, maybe that will change, but of course that will be confidential unless they wish you to stay as well, because, patient-doctor confidentiality. I'm sure you understand, young man. But in the meantime, let me finish writing this spell scroll for you. I know that was very important to the four of you. And
that'd be greatly appreciated.
You give Dr. Hoskati Marog a couple of minutes, and you see that she begins to write. Now, Fig, would you like to roll me a religion check for this?
Might as well. Fig, where are you? Where's your
I need to tab out very, very quickly and actually find the document that tells me what my deity names are.
Religion, where are you? There you are.
Oh, as I've lost the cameras again because I've tabbed out. I forgot about this.
Oh no.
No, this is half the D&D game, isn't it? It's just figuring out what is what. Dwarven deities. That's exactly what I want. Probably going to be you. Yeah, it's probably going to be you. Okay. Cool. So that was a 13 religion check. So, Fig, you see that she begins to sit down and start writing the spell scroll. And while you're not incredibly well versed in the specifics on spell scroll making across deities, this one does look very familiar to you. You would actually see that the first couple of things she sets down on the paper are the 3 linked stones, the 3 rune stones of Tom Tom, which I do believe is a deity that you figure very familiar with. Now, Tom Tom is the dwarvish deity of craftwork, of magic, and of knowledge. And Fig is actually the reason that you ended up here in Ironcliff. You were sent out by your mentor to investigate a couple of old heritage sites around Ironcliff of Tom Tom's workings. That said, after that point, you're not able to read much of the specific rune system she's using. You're able to pick out, basically, this is Dwarvish. You can identify a couple of words here and there, but it is a very archaic form of Dwarvish that you were just not proficient in. It'd be the equivalent of us trying to read Old English.
Yep.
After a while, you see that she's done. She ends up signing it, and you watch as she takes out 3 of the flowers, sets one to the top right of the page over the 3 rune stones, and then sprinkles the other 2 flowers over the rest of the scroll paper. At which point, all of the runes that she had written flashes briefly with a light, and then the scroll rolls itself up and seals itself with a closed eye. All right, well, that's that. That's a spell scroll of cure from poison, lesser restoration. Spell scroll, lesser restoration. Anyone of level 3 would be able to cast it. Anyone of I can't say level 3. Any basic healer would be able to cast this. A non-healer would probably be able to try, but I don't know if it'd be completely successful. So who would like it?
It's my burden to carry.
Vasil?
And she hands it over to you. Now, if you all would step outside, I can start looking at the first of your friends here.
Certainly.
Cam just immediately runs out of the room. They don't like doctors. Fuck off.
Jeremiah, would you care if they stay? Do you want them to leave? How's this going? And Jeremiah just sort of goes, well, that one...
I mean,
So-
Throgan would have stayed.
Yeah, he points at Throgan. He goes, I'd like that one to stay. The rest of them can leave. And you 3 are asked to go to the waiting room, along with Gingerbeard.
Yep.
I
You're
believe we shall.
out in the waiting room for a couple of minutes. Not very long, less than 5 minutes. After that point, you see Jeremiah comes out. Jeremiah goes, oh, Gingerbeard, they kind of want you in there now. Yeah, it's a doctor's visit, I think. I don't know, I've not really done one of these before, but it seemed standard. Gingerbeard gets up, walks inside, and is in there for another about 3 to 4 minutes. Are you 3 doing anything while you wait for these?
Vasil is looking over the spell scroll.
Do you break the seal?
No.
Great. As you're looking over the spell scroll, you can give me an Arcana check or a Religion check.
Sorry, I'll just do this real quick, and then the floor is figs.
What is this? May, what are you doing?
It's me wanting to use my spell.
Fair enough. By the way, you were all level 3. Congratulations.
Vasil looks. Can I have it so Vasil looks at it and like can feel it and is like, oh, I know exactly what the God. Like he's just pissed because he just went on a journey for no reason. Like he could have figured this out if he just looked a little harder.
Absolutely, you may. I still don't see what number you rolled.
24.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. You can have that be the case.
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to do. Please, Fig, I want to know what you're doing.
Just so we are aware of our own health. If you say this is contagious, like we were in the I don't know, extra dimensional space of gray ash and I don't know, dusk maybe. Um how do we two currently look? And I gesture to Cam and myself.
There, I saw some on you earlier.
No.
Not
So Vasil, I
No?
will. So Vasil,
was
I
that
will,
aura not on there?
I will explain what you saw because you did look at them earlier, but it was not today. It was a couple weeks ago. IRL time. What you saw was Throgan did not have the like veins growing in his lungs. Throgan did have a very thin sheet like sheet of ash all over his feathers where you could see them. And like all over his beak as well. Throgan also, somewhere in his like various belts around his midsection, have what looked to be a small rectangular book's worth of something that lit up very, very strongly with the same illness.
But is it ash? You said it's the same illness?
It gives you the same like feeling as the ash that you see.
Okay.
So the whatever the small like box shaped item was not made of ash, but it gave you the same sort of vibes, if that makes sense.
Okay. I'm picturing them like different textures, same color.
Sure, we can go with different textures, same color. Fig had no ash visible on his person when you were looking at Fig. However, inside Fig's backpack, you did again find an item, and this one very clearly you could see was shaped like a book. Probably a larger book, not necessarily oversized, but just a nice like tome that would be used for note keeping. Lit up in this same very almost it hurt to look at it. It was almost as if whatever was there had been ripped out of reality. Again, the same vibes that you were getting from Throgan, the ash that's covering Throgan's body and the item. You also see that Cam has somewhere on their person what looks almost like the lower skull of a canid or of a canine that likewise almost appears like negatively imposed on the environment. And I need to double check something on your character sheets before I keep talking.
Which is why I wanted to check this.
Vasil, would you have looked at yourself?
First, absolutely.
Well, he didn't have a mirror, so.
I will also actually just switch the
I mean, he probably looked at his hands at some point.
looking at your hands,
I don't know
you would
if
have found nothing.
Yeah. I don't
yeah.
know that it would have looked any further.
Looking at Fig, you are going to see one other thing, which is like a leaflet or like a pamphlet of papers that does not have the same vibes on it, but rather you see what is very clearly hyphae, this orange hyphae growing around it. I'm trying to see what else you would see on
Disgusting.
these guys. Oh, yes! And you have one other thing that lights up on Throgan. That is exactly what I thought. There is one other item that lights up on Throgan, which is a spherical orb about yay big, like a little
Orb
bit bigger than a
size.
softball. It's a little bit bigger than a softball. It's a little bit smaller than like a very small cantaloupe.
Okay.
That's what you see.
Grapefruit.
A
Fucking
little bit bigger than a
American
grapefruit. About the same size.
Mmm.
It's an orb.
Grapefruit.
It's a good sized orb.
It's an orb.
An orb.
The bird.
The bird has an
The
orb.
bird is. It's almost like a sheet. but not in the lungs, not in a transmissible place, or what I assume would be a transmissible place based on what I know of virology. You
You do
have an
notice one other
item.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
As you were walking with Gingerbeard to Dr. Hoskati Marog's office, while your detect poison and disease was still active from first casting, you always had a cord of some sort around you, a cable of some sort. Whether it was snaking along the floor or in the frieze on the wall, or you saw at one point it sort of hung off the ceiling like a vine. There was constantly one in your line of sight until that spell went off and stopped happening. You
A
never
cord
found
in the line of sight until the spell went off, you said?
Yeah, until the spell basically disappeared.
And then what happened to the cords? Were they just no longer visible?
Great question.
I'll save my companions the time and just I explain what I've seen, but in a very snarky and Vasil manner.
Yes. Would you like to roll for vicious mockery damage? This is a joke. This is for legal reasons. This is a joke.
How very dare you?
Yeah,
I made up how much.
It's a cantrip, so I've got plenty to spare, but who has the energy?
Truly. If anyone wants to try and find any of these cords, you can roll me a... It's not called spot hidden. You can roll me a perception check.
Sure.
For somebody who's never DM'd 3.5, I sure do ask for spot hidden a lot.
You sure do ask for Call of Cthulhu things. It's almost like you've been a keeper before or something.
Points.
18.
18? Anyone else going to
find
roll?
the cords. That sounds way more fun than waiting on the visit.
I have also...
Vasil got a 5.
Vasil actually rips out copper wire.
Vasil, copper wire doesn't even exist here.
We're gonna invent it just to rip it.
White trash exists everywhere, baby.
Because Vasil has told me that the book I currently am in the possession of is like with this thing. This is my new level 1 spell, which is identify.
In 1 second, can you please pop identify in the chat for me so the viewers can see what that does? I'm going to give Vasil and Cam the answers to their perception rolls. Vasil, you see nothing. Cam.
That was easy.
Cam. You, now knowing what you're looking for, again, and the way it was described was it's almost rope-like, but it's smoother. You don't see the woven texture in it. And it's ever so slightly shiny. Not necessarily shiny like metal shiny, but you would recognize it, Cam, as more like brand new rubber. You actually, Cam, would probably recognize it best as resembling a whip that you had seen in the circus. That same sort of patent sheen. And you see some snaking around the chair legs that Gingerbeard is currently sitting in. Similar to Vasil, you never see the start of any of these cables and you never see the ends of any of these cables. They always just seem to sort of snake out of your line of sight and then not appear again. Big, you cast Identify. Tell me, what is it?
So now I'm reading it again, and I can touch a creature.
You
I
can
can learn
touch a
what
creature.
spells, if any, are currently affecting it. So if I learn that...
Go ahead, yeah.
If I recall that Gingerbeard currently still has his weird magical cables around him, I might just like lean on his shoulder.
Cam could point out the cables if Cam wants to point out the cables.
Cam's gonna point out the cables by going these ones and then trying to stab one with a knife.
Cam, you stab one with a knife.
It's science. I need a bit of it. Or at least the people
Wow.
that can do science need a bit of it.
Two things are going to happen. Do you want me to stab the wire first, or do you want Cam to stab the wire first, or do you want Fig to cast Identify first?
Let's have Fig cast Identify first.
Caveat so the DM doesn't do tricky DM things. Is Fig casting Identify on Gingerbeard or the cables?
I learn what it's on Gingerbeard, and I learn what spells are currently affecting him.
Okay.
Fig, you cast Identify on Gingerbeard. Please track resources, please track spell slots. Leaning on Gingerbeard's shoulder, you feel the effects of no magic.
Okay.
There are no spells currently affecting Gingerbeard, and you are very, very confident of that fact. I will give you a little bit more information because that's a very boring answer to receive. You are...
I like to cross it out, though. That was...
Oh, absolutely. You are able to tell that whatever is affecting Gingerbeard definitely has a very, very strong arcane, like arcana influence to it. It is not a spell, but whatever this sickness is does definitely have some magic imbued into it. It's not just a random respiratory virus.
There you go. That is the information I wish to learn.
Well, you have learned this
Anyway,
information.
Thank you very much.
Cam, you don't need to roll an attack because it is a inanimate object. I will say you can stab it. What I do need you to roll for me is a dexterity saving throw.
Sure. Dexterity. Here we go.
Dexterity.
One.
I can also switch over so people can actually see, you
17.
rolling dice because that's quite fun. 17. With a 17, you are going to watch as you stab this cable, a spray of there's just this small spurt of black tar-like fluid that comes out of the cable. And then as you remove your knife, it doesn't spray out uncontrollably. Rather, it just starts to pulse and dribble out ever so slowly. And it's goopy and it's icky and it's very, very viscous. And as you pull your knife away, it's a good amount of it is still just stuck on your blade as it drips off in this big globule and hits the ground.
Like a vial.
Can Vasil use one of his empty vials from his herbalism kit to collect this
I have
thing?
a vial.
Yeah,
Oh, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
My hands are busy, but...
I mean, only one of your hands is busy.
But, there's a cork on the vial. You kind of need two hands.
Oh, yeah, that's fair, that's fair.
I'm gonna pop the cork off. Go.
And I'll try and collect some.
This is the most teamwork he has ever done in a laboratory setting.
Absolutely.
If I see them trying to collect goo, I'm casting protection from poison on Cam. I am doing this.
Please cast your spell.
That's awesome.
How long does protection from poison last, Fig?
If it is poisoned, you neutralize the poison. If more than one poison afflicts the target, you neutralize one poison that you know is present, or you neutralize one at random. For the duration, it says 1 hour. The target has advantage on saving throws against being poisoned. So it has resistance to poison damage.
So it's not an immediate they are not poisoned, it is they have a resistance against being poisoned.
Well, no, the first one I touch,
one of them.
And then anything other that they do has resistance.
Yes. Okay, so nothing is removed right now. If any poison tries to affect you in the next hour, you get advantage on that save. Correct?
Cam does, yes.
Great. Nothing is removed right now. Fig, you would notice that as you cast the spell, nothing is immediately different about Cam. Cam, you are able to bottle this item. I'm not going to make you roll another dex save. Your first one was very good. You may write down on your character sheet that you have a bottle of cable tar.
No. Cam's not holding this. Cam's too clumsy. They don't carry glass jars. It goes to Vasil because he knows like science.
Vasil, you may write down that you have a jar of cable tar. Or plague tar, if you wish.
Hip hip hooray.
You're holding the cork. I don't know what you wanted.
He's going to he's gonna very slowly put the cork on to see if it like if there's a pressure differential or if like anything spooky, weird, scary happens. Like, is this thing expelling vapors? Like, what's going on with this thing?
Give me a medicine
It's just
check.
gonna explode. Also, like, this is a doctor's office, right?
Yes, this is the doctor's office.
So we have like a clean station.
No, because you're in the waiting room.
Damn.
Vasil.
Okay, when
There should
what's this
still be
guy
a place to
called?
wash your hands in the waiting room.
Vasil, that's a natural one.
Uh-huh.
Vasil,
Uh-huh.
you have expertise, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Vasil, as you go to put the lid on this jar, you press down just a little bit too hard and feel the glass crack.
Oh my god.
Nobody
God.
has noticed other than you.
Hey.
Would you pass me another vial, please? You can have one of mine.
Sure. I probably have one hand that isn't covered in tar, so I'm gonna use that
Actually,
one
neither
to
of your
grab
hands
it.
are covered in tar.
Oh, I figured with like the knife.
It's just on
Oh.
your knife. It never spurted onto you.
Awesome. I've
Yeah.
got two clean-ish hands.
The
And
knife is
I'll-
nasty, I should state.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I figured.
What's happening to Vasil while this happens?
I mean, what is Vasil doing with this jar that's cracked?
He's doing the thing. I think he's doing the thing that a lot of scientists do, where they're just like, okay. Collect all as much as you can, try to prevent the spread.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very small hairline fracture in this vial. And the tar is very, very viscous, so it's not leaked out yet. And the little bit that is starting to sort of spurt out, you're able to just sort of like balance it on the top of the vial so it doesn't get onto your hands.
Okay. I thought the whole thing shattered. Good.
No, the whole thing did not shatter. No.
That's what I was imagining.
That's fair. No, not quite. Cam is able to get you another vial. You're able to just sort of transfer it in there. It's not a sterile sample anymore, if that mattered.
It wasn't sterile to begin with. It was on a knife.
It wasn't sterile to begin with.
How
The
many
knife is
people has
used to
Cam
cut
killed
flowers.
with that knife?
None.
None. Cam's a bear.
How many?
Or a tiger.
Or a tiger.
How much? How many? I don't know.
Anyways.
Anyway.
Gingerbeard comes out of the office. And you see Dr. Hoskati come out as well, wearing a mask, just sort of over her mouth, over her nose, behind your ears. Well, I've checked both of your friends out. They can share your results with you if they wish. For now, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest not strict quarantining, but I am going to suggest we strengthen the masking requirements in public, as well as start to reduce hours for some of our workers to reduce spreading, like spreader events. I don't think it's necessarily anything to worry about severely at this stage. Gingerbeard's going to get the next 3 weeks off to see how he starts feeling. And I would suggest that your friend here, Jeremiah, as well, when he goes home, to stay separate from most of his family, his community, just for a little while. Are any of you showing symptoms or complaints or anything?
Nothing transmissible.
Certainly.
Not that we are currently aware of. Do you have more of those masks? I don't have any in my person.
Oh,
currently.
yeah. The cabinet to your right has a couple of them sitting on top.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor.
No worries. Thank you for asking. That's quite polite of you. The best way to stop spread is to wear those yourself.
Nerds.
Fig, if you put it on, you notice that these are very clearly dwarven masks, so it's a little bit small for your
Yep.
face.
Fair enough.
And your tusks like rub the front of the mask. They don't poke through. Very clearly, they do not poke through.
Mhm.
No, it was just a funny image.
Yeah.
Doctor, I do have one other piece of information for you that you might find
Not a
interesting.
doctor.
Oh, sorry, not a doctor. A bachelor. I do have one other piece of information for you that you might find interesting.
How does that sting more? Please.
I do know that up north in Baratara, and for my lovely players, Baratara is the city that is directly north of you.
Baratara mention.
Baratara mention. How do I ping on the map? I'm trying to ping the map. Give me a second. Baratara mention.
You're pinging.
Pinging. Baratara. I know that Baratara has been having some issues recently with a outbreak of some sort, some ilk, especially after everything that's happened to them. So it may be worth trying to get into contact with some medical professionals up there, see if they've seen anything of the sort. I'll of course reach out, but I sort of have to focus on the spread here. So any additional, communication you have up there would be very helpful. Even if you're just willing to deliver a letter, I'd be greatly appreciative.
I'll speak not for the party, as my own professional obligations are. He stares off into the middle distance.
Bachelor?
Vasil? Mr. Vitale?
Oh, is that your name?
I have no job.
Well, if you are looking for something, we're always looking for secretarial work in the profession. It'd be great on any sort of resume if you're looking at further study.
You kindly for your offer, Doctor. Think about it.
Certainly.
Yeah, we do have to help our current compatriot, but we'll also see if she has any information about this and if we'll take you up on that offer or not, Doctor.
Certainly. Sounds wonderful. Oh, hang on. Have I been lost? There we go. Certainly. Sounds wonderful. Well, I need to start working on a little bit of the write-up for current policy. I will hopefully not see you all anytime soon because that will mean that you are ill. You must understand.
Respectfully, the feeling is mutual.
Understandable. Hey, no hard feelings. And Dr. Hoskati goes back into her office and shuts the door. So, what would you, the party, like to do?
I propose we do what we came to do and we go on our merry way. You are free to do whatever it is you desire to do, and I will do literally anything else than this anymore.
Fig will take 1, 2, 3 more masks, one for everyone, not Vasil. And
Not
then
Vasil.
He has his own.
You will notice that there is one issue, Pig. The masks do not fit on Throgan.
Yeah, makes sense. I take one anyway.
That's fair.
Hold on a second.
For my viewers' assistance, Throgan is a Kenku, and therefore has a very large beak to contend with. I have no idea what Sunny K is looking up right now.
So when birds get sick, sometimes they get put in Tupperwares.
Oh no!
when they get like weighed, or when they need to get separated from other zoo or like enclosure animals or like other lab animals. I mean, because like if it's a respiratory virus, birds. Okay, birds. I like birds. I think about birds a lot. So I'll bird info dump in another stream. But basically, when birds get sick, it's not like how most mammals get sick. Like upper respiratory viruses are really weird for their metabolism, so sometimes they just get put in containers.
So we need a spell called Create Tupperware.
Create Tupperware.
Create barrier.
I do actually know 2 magicians that could help you with Create Tupperware. Anyways. So yeah, Fig, you can take some masks. That's easy to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if we've got enough of the day left, it's like I'm fine with heading straight out to. Hopefully, we can find our way back to where Yuka is.
Wow. Fun story about that. You guys do have more than half the day left. It's late morning at this point, taking your way out towards the city. Now, none of you have detect poison the disease active right now. As you leave, Chamomile and Throgan, you both will be taken over to the side. Sean sort of sees you, waves you over to the little side room that does actually have doors between it and basically what is past TSA and what is in front of TSA. I shouldn't call it TSA. DS. It's called DSA now, Dwarf Security Association Administration.
Awesome.
I don't actually know what the thing is called. But waves you through, you go through your little side room. Cam, you're super used to this at this point. You go in, you detransform. He looks at your card. He looks at you. He goes, great. Here's your key to your chest where you left all your stuff that wasn't allowed inside. You retransform. You have a snack. He gives you a cookie. He gives you a juice box. Everything's fine. With Throgan, it's a bit more difficult. Throgan is asked to detransform, ends up instead showing his note that says he can't. That is something he's not capable of doing. Gets, patted down a little bit. Checks the idea that has Throgan's face on it, checks Throgan, gives him the key to open his chest. Is also still given a cookie and a juice box, because that's just kind of standard procedure, even though Throgan didn't really use any energy to transform. And then you two are out on your way.
Does that mean Throgan has seen my detransformation, or would that have been like behind a curtain?
No, it's behind a curtain.
Awesome.
It is behind a curtain. It's not the most private, but it is technically not visible. Meanwhile, Vasil and Fig, you're able to just walk through the room that gets rid of any physical transformative magic, and you guys are fine because you're not under any physical transformative magic.
Vasil feels his tummy rumbling.
You do not get a cookie and a juice box.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I said it.
You all head back through the merchant district, and can I get your passive perceptions?
Oh, I think it's an 11.
I think it is.
It's just 10 plus your modifier, right?
Yep,
It's
that's
11.
correct.
15.
It's actually quite high.
Mine's not that high.
It's almost like I'm like a druid who's proficient in perception.
Wow. Shocker.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can
Fig is just a straight 10. If he's not focused on something, he doesn't see it happening.
Vasil and Fig, you two don't see this. Chamomile, as you're walking through the merchant district, which is the part of Ironcliff right between the gate and the government building, the first thing that any visitor to Ironcliff would usually see. As you're walking through the merchant district, you hear coughing around you. It's not a lot, but it is definitely more than you would expect for a miner's disease. The miners, you would expect maybe 1 or 2 of them up at the merchant district at this hour. You actually are hearing stall owners coughing. You're hearing people in like fancier clothes, not work clothes, but in more brokers, in weavers. People like that are coughing as well. And
Fun.
As you look around, you manage to pass one trash receptacle. A small brazier that's permanently burning. And you watch as somebody throws in a tissue that you see inside has just a small bit of ash.
see the ash.
You can see the ash.
The ash was like detect poison visible.
Vasil could see the ash. You can also see the ash. Dr. Hoskati Marog could not see the ash. Looking around.
And does the ash like float up like ashes tend to do? Or does it just stay put?
As it goes into the brazier, you see it floats up a little bit on like the current of air.
Mm-hmm.
More importantly, however, you see that the foot of the brazier, coiled around it, is another one of those cables.
I just go, Big, give me a mask.
Yep, of course.
I
Certainly.
should state it is also still within the hour of protection from poison and disease.
Yeah, sure. But also, I'm not actively aware of how long that lasts or that it was even cast. I don't think.
Yep.
I was just
I just
fucking
wanted to
about
remind
with
you guys
black
have
liquid.
all the information about this illness.
Vasil puts a cloth mask on top of his N95 for good measure.
I respect Vasil in this house. This is the only time I will say that.
Okay, good caveat.
Yeah, I'll tell them that there's so many people coughing, and can we please just go?
Now that it has been pointed out
Yo.
to you, you both hear the coughing. It's concerning.
This does not seem just a miner's cough. And was this happening as we walked in earlier today? Because I don't
I roll for like
think-
memory.
Yeah, you can roll for your memory. Give me a straight intelligence check.
Ah, fuck.
Or a history check, because there is actually a history skill.
Oh, I am actually proficient in history. Love that. Go.
Is that a 1?
I was distracted by everything else.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I will try to remember as well. Leaf, where's
Vasil remembers.
There you
Vasil
are.
had a nat 20. Vasil remembers.
Oh no,
Uh,
Cam was busy
know.
fixing steps. That's
Ca-
why they can't remember.
Cam, you were busy fixing steps. You don't remember. You were too busy yelling at people who like stepped on the step as you were molding it. So like, it did the thing concrete does, where now there's just a footprint in it, and you had to spend time fixing it again. Fig, you don't remember. You weren't really paying attention, so maybe people were coughing.
Nope.
Vasil, you cast your mind back. And you remember that something had struck you as odd when you were walking through the market earlier. And that's that there was a couple of stalls that had these ropes for sale. They were sort of hung on the awnings, so you weren't really sure if they were part of the stalls or not. But they were black, and they almost seemed to pulse. To you, Vasil, it appeared almost like a bile duct. Like black bile pulsing through them.
Yeah.
There was coughing earlier today.
Was this just on and like all of the stalls, or was this at one particular one that was for sale?
It was on a few different stalls. You never saw a price tag on any of them.
Are they still around? Is that
Yes.
stall still open today? Okay.
The stall is
He's
not
gonna
open
go-
anymore. You see that the stall is still there, but like basically the wares have been packed up. And you see that there is
He's gonna-
yeah. There's a half dwarvish man, half human, half dwarf, basically just packing things up, ducking a little bit to stay underneath the awning.
He's gonna come up to this merchant. Excuse me, sir.
Oi,
Do you mind
can I help ya?
answering a quick? Yes, I
I'm
couldn't
already
help but
packing up.
notice that-
I can't really help you with any sort of sales or anything.
No.
Okay.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking to buy. I understand it's the end of your day.
Cheers.
Inconvenient as it may be to those. Anyway, I noticed before that there was a strange cable, a rope, on your awning earlier today when your stall was still open. Could you tell me more about this?
Leans up and being, a bit taller than your average dwarf. He starts sort of like rummaging around the top of the awning. Oh, I don't see anything up there now. If it was there, I didn't notice. Maybe it was a new installation from the city. I'm not entirely sure.
It must have been my imagination. Or perhaps I had the wrong stall. I apologize for the inconvenience.
No worries.
Why not?
Happens to the best of us.
Walks back to the party. There's something deeply amiss. I wonder if, Kim, when you stabbed the thing, it almost like a living organism sensed danger and retreated out to another location or shifted its attention elsewhere.
Oh, did
What
the
do you mean?
thing
Were they here
was-
earlier?
Yes, I saw them there, and
You also
on
see
that
them now
awning as
that
well.
you were looking. They are still here.
Right
Other people will also see
there.
them.
But the merchant, they weren't his.
No, he doesn't even know that they're there. He can't see them.
Sir, and you feel like a very meaty hand sort of poke into your back, Vasil.
I beg your pardon?
It's Jeremiah.
Right.
What are you looking at? There's nothing up there.
So you can't see it either.
See
But
what?
you also saw the
We're having
Can-
an issue with of a certain type. It's okay, Jeremiah. We're still leaving the city. If you'd like to continue that way.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Can Vasil?
Can Vasil just touch one of the cables?
Yeah.
I mean, I had one. They're visible, like
Yeah.
physical stuff.
In your hand, it
What is it?
feels cold. Vasil.
Can he like
Charisma
Mhm.
saving throw. Give it to
charisma
me.
saving throw?
Charisma saving throw. Give it to me.
Nat 1, nat 1, nat 1,
Please,
nat
I'm
1,
telling the
nat
bard
1.
to do a
God
charisma
damn
saving
it.
throw.
It's not great.
What is it?
13.
That's a 13. That's not bad. It's not the worst it could be.
No. I wanted it to fail so bad.
Vasil.
Did it fail?
Vasil. You don't even know the DC. Vasil. It's this cable, now that you're grabbing it, is cold in your hand. Thickness wise, it's about the size of like a nice kielbasa. Thick enough to be like weighty in your hand, but not so thick
What
that
are
you can't wrap your hand around it.
Measurement.
A kielbasa?
A kielbasa. Yeah. A
A
kielbasa.
sausage.
What are
Okay, but why are
An-
we using sausages?
I don't know how else to describe. I don't know how else to
feel like-
describe, but like, oh, it's the
2 inches
circumference of a
diameter?
€2 coin. Does that help?
Sure,
Because
that
Vasil-
helps, yes.
because Vasil is a confirmed bachelor, baby.
That's it. I'm ending the stream. Good night, everyone.
Also, that is not how thick a kielbasa should be.
No, it's not. Anyways, you guys are having a time. It's it's thin enough that you can wrap your whole hand around it, but it's still thick enough that like it takes up your hand to hold. And you feel again, it's cold in your hand. To us in the modern era, it's not quite as cold as a refrigerator, but it is still significantly chill when compared to the ambient room temperature. And Vasil, holding on to it, you feel nothing else.
Like nothing's pulsing inside or moving. It doesn't feel like a vessel or like a bladder or anything.
You feel nothing else. Squeezing it ever so slightly, you can tell that these are very thick-walled, whatever they are. And the texture is something that you, Vasil, would be one of the few people to have felt this before. It feels almost like a rubber. A very thick medical-grade rubber.
Jeremiah, I'll not make you do anything you wish not to do.
Yeah?
More than already, anyway. Would you
Yeah.
like to feel this and touch what I'm currently examining?
You're not holding anything.
So it appears. Humor me if you would be interested.
Sure. And he holds out his hand. I'll pull him up towards you.
Vasil is going to gently take his hand and touch to the same part of the cable that he's holding.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
He asked for
So
consent
sorry,
first.
Jeremiah.
I am
think
making.
Jeremiah didn't know anything.
So here's the thing. Here's where you put me in a bit of a spot of bother because I really want to roll dice behind my DM screen. But I can't do that because all of the internet is going to see those dice. So please imagine for me that I am rolling dice and you can all hear them and you can all hear the clicky clackies. And it's very spooky, okay? Just imagine that for me. Great.
You still have the element of surprise to make it a private roll that we can't see.
Well, I did. I don't think you can see it in chat. Anyways.
Nope.
Beautiful. You see as this cable falls into Jeremiah's hand. As soon as it touches his skin, almost instantaneously. No, it is instantaneously. Jeremiah's skin becomes the same tar black as the ooze in that jar.
Let go, let go, let go,
As
let go.
he is emaciated immediately. It doesn't spread from his hand just the moment contact happens. All of him becomes tar black.
Oh no.
Rail, wire thin, with a white porcelain mask covering his face, featureless, aside from a single mouthful. And I think that's where we're going to take our break for today, folks.
God damn you.
You've hurt Jerry.
I have done nothing of the
Hurt
sort.
Jeremiah.
I have done nothing of the sort. Jeremiah was told to do a thing.
No, he was given permission to, and he had an opportunity to walk away.
Well, we're
There
going to
is
take
still
a
a
break.
power imbalance, significantly.
We're going to take a break for about 10 to 15 minutes as I set up a little bit of an impromptu thingy in the VTT. We will be back sometime between 7:30 and 7:35 for the Amsterdam people or Central Time people. What time is that?
12:30 to 12:35.
12:30.
Cheers. We'll be back in just a little bit of time. Go grab a water, go take a bio break, and we will see you then. Cheers. And we are hopefully back on the air. There we go. Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Sunny K is currently... there we go. There's Sunny K.
I'm back.
We have had a little bit of an oopsie, which is called I crashed Foundry during the break. So we are currently... I am currently working to get it fixed and see if we can actually get that... guy imported. I don't think we will actually be getting the guy imported, which means
No, I'm back in.
I am going to very quickly just be making a new guy really quickly to function as a person on the battlefield if you guys do for some reason decide to fight your dearest friend Jeremiah.
I don't want to fight him. Throgan's gonna be so mad at me.
Here's the fun secret thing. You guys don't have to fight him. It's not required.
We can just leave him to infect everyone else.
Hey Vasil, do you think that spell might come in handy right about now?
Might have to. I know how to replicate it. I can do it now. Is this a disease? What is this?
Great question. Vasil.
It's not a straight up spell.
It's
Not
one
straight up
condition.
poison.
The condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. Or it's a disease.
Well, you guys are ready. I think set it up. There's just one issue, which is that I need to pull up the stat block on my mobile device to make sure that I have it accessible without having to flip through like massive books.
Oh no.
What do you mean, oh no?
Just, oh no, generally.
Oh, fair enough.
It's my
Generally.
state of being when I'm playing D&D with you. They're fine.
Fair enough. Okay.
I don't think in my life I've said "you son of a bitch" to someone more than I've said it to my brother, our dungeon master.
And it's because you are correct. I do things very specifically to make games harder for you. It's almost like that's my job behind the screen or something.
Where?
All right.
I just want a whimsical fantasy adventure.
Oh, absolutely
With Valentine?
not.
No way!
No.
That's the meme I
We're
want on
getting
my
plot.
Reddit. All right.
No, we're getting plot, baby.
You want
chat,
the plot
get on
kids? Okay. Well, we are back. Let us start as you have what used to be Jeremiah standing in front of you holding a cable.
Jeremiah, can you hear us?
Jeremiah, let go of the cable. Let go of the cable.
And the figure in front of you, you watch as it has an amount of idle motion to it. Just a breathing in and a breathing out.
And you said it's a creature that's made of an amalgam of thick black rubber wires.
It is not made of an amalgam of thick black rubber wires. Rather, it looks like its skin itself is made of the same thing covering the wires. And it is very thin, it is emaciated, as if any sort of nutrition or flesh had been used off of its bones.
Okay.
The only difference is its face, which is covered by a white porcelain white mask, almost like a theater mask, with the only feature on it being a hole where the mouth would be.
Pig, do you think that this whatever's happened to him could be fixed if we use this?
Big. Your sensor is blistering hot wherever you keep it.
Yeah. I need to do an investigation roll.
Go ahead. What are you investigating?
Just the if I recognize this character in any which way, a la, do you already have art for it? Oh,
Roll me some dice.
I did roll some dice. It wasn't good. It was just an investigation.
I don't see the dice. Oh, there's the dice. Fig, you have never seen any figure like this before.
Oh, nope, it's... There are so many things wrong with this particular image.
You've
Anyway.
seen things similar to this before, but nothing that strikes
Mhm.
this impact on you.
Yeah. It's also I'm also looking around, just like, has anybody like noticed that this man has just completely transformed in the middle of this market?
No one seems to be looking in the slightest.
Yep.
I'll just switch over here. I'm not going to switch you guys over here.
Lovely.
Yeah, it is.
Gosh,
Isn't
we
it?
have to do something.
Vasil's going to use medicine or arcana or something to see if lesser restoration would set things to rights.
You could roll me either. Medicine will tell you if this is an illness. Lesser Arcana will tell you if lesser restoration would have an effect.
We know it's magical in nature, so I would be doing that. Yeah.
Pathetic. It's a 12.
It's a 12. You, whatever this is, it is unnatural. However, you don't know if lesser restoration is going to fix whatever it is. You've not encountered anything like this before, so you have no data either way.
Ooh.
And this figure in front of you is still just stood there breathing, almost as if it's looking and watching what you're going to do.
With what eyes?
Fig, Cam, should I use it?
I don't.
I
don't.
Can we get him to stop touching the thing?
That probably
Saying that,
might make us touch it.
you will see the figure in front of you, Cam, takes the cable that it is still holding and very gingerly drapes it back on one of the awnings and lets it go.
And it stays the way it is.
Yep. As it moves, you
Thank
see
you.
it's as it moves, you see every single tendon, every single sinew of this thing's flesh and this thing's musculature moving underneath its skin. It is, you see everything that is happening. There is no barrier between its skin and the underlying mechanics. Every single joint to joint
very cool.
distance seems just slightly longer than you would expect from any sort of race that you are familiar with. Its hands very long, very wiry. A lot of dexterity, though, you can see in its fingers count. And it has just a little bit of a theatrical play to it. As it places this cable down, you see that its hands are just gently, and then it sort of like flicks its fingers up as if it's a job well done.
Thank you very much.
Basil's going to take out a blank notebook and a pen
Yeah,
and is going to hand both to this thing.
it takes both of them.
Would you write your name, please?
And you watch as this figure like cocks its head to the side and starts to write something on
Also,
the paper.
like, I'm gonna try and like mimic some of its movements to see if I can figure out what's so weird about it to me.
I want you to give me, what's your highest stat?
My highest, jeez. I'm assuming wisdom.
Then I want you to roll me wisdom plus proficiency. because this is going to be a racial roll rather than a skill roll.
So I'm just gonna roll it as a save because that's easiest.
Perfect.
And I am proficient in wisdom saves.
Um,
Not great. 13.
13. It's not
with
bad.
a 13, you will actually figure out a little bit of it. As Cam, as you're basically trying to mimic this thing's movements, you're going to notice that the thing that is so weird about it is that distance. Its limbs are just slightly longer than a humanoid should be. It's very lanky, it's very tall. I know at least one of you, I know at least Sunny K is going to understand what I mean when I say this. It's that Dutch guy that's always in Hollywood.
Yeah, Marfans.
Yeah. It's just the build of this body is slightly weird, is slightly uncanny to you, Kim. And if you do this in public, I'm not saying you do. If you lengthen your arm just a little bit, if you lengthen your radius and your ulna a little bit, you're able to much more easily mimic the gestures of this thing. And then adding just a little bit of a performative act to it, a little bit of a flair for the dramatic, you're able to now very close, like you would, with practice, you could very closely mimic its motions.
Okay, could I just mentally note down the proportions? Like, I'm assuming I know typical humanoid proportions for most races.
Yeah,
So I could
absolutely.
fuck about this at some later date, if it would be useful.
Absolutely, you can. Sunny K, you see as this thing writes down, it writes something down, and again, it's this very dramatic sort of pen swish at the end. And then it turns the notepad over towards you, hands it back with one of its hands on top, and offers it to you.
Vasil will take the edge of the paper where he knows that the creature's not touching.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll pull it forward a little bit.
And it's sort of
angling it so that it'll land on his chest and keep it private.
And it sort of lifts its hands up as it does so, as if a ta-da motion. I can also speak, you know. The paper says TrageDM.
TrageDM?
TrageDM.
I imagine you.
I'm changing the name of the stream actually because that's really funny.
I imagine you understand we have some questions for you.
Certainly. I wouldn't expect anything less. Though, you must know, they are limited in what I can tell you.
Explain your limitations.
The play cannot be solved before the plot begins, now can it?
This is entertainment to you.
No. You simply asked me to explain my limitations. You would not read the last page before you read the first. You would not ask a painter how it's supposed to look at the end when they're just sketching, would you?
People do that all the time. They're not supposed to.
Cam is in the background losing their mind.
Vasil thinks for a moment about, I've done all of these things, but I've also been told that that's not how you're supposed to do them.
Just so, if you don't mind me asking, is the current form you take, is Jeremiah affected in any way, and will he be returned to us whole and hale?
Jeremiah, is that the one's name? I see. Well, what I can tell you is that He will be returned, though not here at this time. Actors cannot appear in multiple places, you see. If I had to guess, he'd be back with his brethren.
Does this performance of yours have an available cast list?
Do you wish to see it? And the figure in front of you, the TrageDM in front of you, reaches out one hand and sort of hovers it. It's in front of your face, Vasil, but it's not absurdly close. It does very much look like this creature is reaching to like touch your forehead.
I had that one the last time.
Perhaps you could do me the kindness of writing it down for posterity. There's no
Oh.
professional play, no grand performance that doesn't have its very own playbill, no?
You are correct. That's not quite something I am at liberty to do. A playbill changes as a play is created, does it not? No cast list I can give you
No.
would be complete.
No, there are usually casts, and when they rotate, there's usually a note that goes in the playbill to note when the cast is You want to touch me? How do I know that I can trust you not to infect me?
And it lifts its hands back.
I'll just step
but-
forward and hold my hand out.
Seems one of your
Yeah,
compatriots is a bit more receptive.
Are you sure, Cam?
I'll be fine.
And it offers its hand to you, Cam, underhanded, as if to lead you in a dance.
Yeah, sure.
You take its hand?
Yeah.
Would you like to... I'm going to ask you for a thing, and I would like you to know that you may always choose to fail saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
Would you make me a charisma saving throw?
No.
Great. Chamomile, you feel your body begin to slump and begin to fall. You're not losing your physical form. You're not detransforming. You're just losing control over your muscles. Vasil and Fig, you see Chamomile immediately be grabbed, not on the waist in like a creepy way, but more on the waist in a, okay, let's keep you upright.
Mm-hmm.
And then, after a brief moment, Chamomile, you feel yourself begin to rise. Now, Chamomile, you are about to experience something very different from our other two players. Fig and Vasil, you see Cam and this figure move into what looks to be a waltz, or a modified waltz. Either of you could give me that is a Pathfinder roll, that is a Call of Cthulhu roll, that is a... Give me a performance roll. Give me a performance check if you guys want to try and identify this. Chamomile, you're going to see something different. Chamomile, you are going to feel as you begin to fall, your mind almost falls into the mask that this thing is wearing, with your vision becoming white. And then you begin to see figures dancing across a stage in front of you. You see first nothing. A curtain, a black and gray and mottled curtain across the stage, pulling down, swiping to the side to reveal people standing in front. Every person on this stage takes the same form as this TrageDM, with slight alterations in the mask and in the costuming they wear to give the appearance of different people. One of these is wearing a mask with a red beard and a face mask, with hair, with a wig, tied into a tight bun at the back of their head. One of them is someone that you can identify has Jeremiah's tattoo crudely painted on their neck, with a feather embroidered across a sash on their chest. Another one of them is lying on what looks to be a table that has been wheeled out. This table is covered in orange cloth, translucent, with a orange chiffon draped over them as well, giving almost the illusion of an orange pod, hyphae growing up around it. Are you looking for anyone in particular, Cam?
TrageDM said that they would explain things.
Yes.
So I'm not looking for anything. I'm being told I'm gonna get things explained.
That's fair. These are the ones that you see. These are the ones that stick out to you the most. You see, let's see, on a nat 1, what would you get? You see that there are further TrageDMs, basically waiting just off stage. You see some of them bustling around, though you're not able to identify any like specific characteristics on any of them. It's almost more like you're seeing just a little bit of stage crew around the sides. You do see one other thing, and this is that from where you are standing, you are facing a stage from a mezzanine level. Behind you, you hear the creaking of old wooden doors, and you start to see light streaming in from behind you. You feel, more than you hear or see, 4 sets of footsteps. One of them seems a lot heavier than the other 3. And one of them sounds almost like talons clicking against wood. This is all you see before you come back up to your body. And you find yourself being very gingerly set to the side. The TrageDM steps back and bows before releasing your hand. Fig, Vasil, Fig, you do not identify this past. It looks like some sort of waltz. Vasil, you have brushed against higher society. You recognize that whatever this waltz is seems the most similar to an old tiefling waltz from I'm about to give numbers, which means any of my players could call me out on this. From about 850 to 800 years ago. However, for some reason, it feels wrong to you. Like there's just something about the step pattern it's taking that feels slightly off.
You're supposed to put your foot. Your foot.
And
Who choreographed this?
And the figure bows very deeply towards you, Kim.
Assuming I was in the following partner's position at the end of the dance.
Yes, you were.
So I'll do a like deep curtsy back. And then try and remember what the fuck just happened. I don't know if you can hear Fig, but I can't.
You were just dancing? What did are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I've done weirder shit. Okay.
Okay.
You're smart. So I'm just gonna what I just heard, I'm just gonna reiterate to Fig, assuming they're smart enough to take notes, because I'm not gonna remember this.
Fair enough.
I have physical notes. That was frustrating, yet slightly enlightening, potentially. I don't know yet.
Anyway, so this is just May. I'm not trying to speak to the figure yet. Are we gonna try to save Jermar? Or do you think we're just gonna let him go? 'Cause this feels
He
like
already did.
danger, stay away.
Did TrageDM not already mention that Jeremiah was likely already back at the Shield Brothers?
No, he said he would eventually go back to his brothers, but I'm like,
Okay.
oh, do you mean his brothers in death? Anyway.
I mean, there is an insight check
Okay.
that you could roll if you maybe wanted to check that.
I,
would
Vasil,
love
would
to
like to
check
roll
that.
an insight check
You-
on
again-
what the fuck is going on.
To my beloved players, you may suggest a roll at any time if you feel it is appropriate.
Oh, please, I would.
Well, people are
Yeah, you
rolling things.
You didn't answer if it'd be whole and hail. You just said like maybe whole.
This is true. He never responded to the hail bit. So I see a
No, he
2
did not.
from Fig and a 19 from Beth.
Awful.
Okay. Fig, you don't know how to read this thing. You've always been a little bit
Nope.
better with books than you have been with people, and with this one, you have no facial cues to go off of.
Yeah, this is bad.
Vasil, while this thing talks very dramatic, you get the distinct sense that it has not lied to you yet. It is obfuscating things, it is very specifically being obtuse, but it has not lied to you yet.
One perceptive viewer of this overture, as I assume that's where this is now, would notice that there is a certain pattern where so do your cables appear, do ash in the lungs, and a disease of an unknown origin. Well, prior to this meeting, an unknown origin, although some pieces are coming together. I believe in the business that's called foreshadowing, eh?
I suppose you are correct. Though, there may also be other... foreshadowing is such a strong word, is it not? It implies we know where it is going.
Well, it is impossible to see the future unless you are gifted in the ways of divinity. I mean, it's pretty clear cut that you know you appeared and the ash also appeared and people are getting a respiratory. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
I had no idea I had been seen already. I must be more careful in future.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
No. All right, the TrageDM will
you-
remember this.
I
The more you talk to things, the more they learn about you.
But is there anything potentially fey about this guy? Because he's dramatic enough to be one.
Do you want
I
to
have
roll
a
me
question for
check?
this
Do you wanna
thing
roll
that
me
he
an
might
insight
have
check?
to answer.
So you two are going to each other, so I can.
Cam, roll me an insight check. Vasil,
Sorry.
what you got?
Let Cam do Cam's thing first. I have an idea if nothing comes from it or if
12.
it becomes necessary.
That broke, that was just pointing. A 12. Chamomile, with your personal experience, the way this thing talks is very similar to how a lot of fae talk.
Mhm.
It is not lying, but it is also not necessarily giving you the whole truth. The very specific phrasing that it has been using, the very specific way of communication that it has been using, seems to be almost skirting around limitations that it has, which does strike you as a very fae-like way of speaking. You are not able to determine whether this thing is itself Fae or not.
Okay.
Sunny K.
What is my name?
You are the bachelor. You are the doctor that has been cursed by the witch.
Not a doctor.
The bachelor that has been cursed
said
by the
it.
witch, then.
Not me.
And that is very much my title. A title you could use. But it isn't my name. What is my name?
Your persona is the bachelor. I don't see why you need another.
Interesting.
Did this person also forget your name with the whole curse thingy?
That's what
What's
I was trying
my
to
name?
figure out.
Your name? You are the sculptor. Or, depending on the time, the changeling.
I have 2 names. Awesome.
The shape changer. The molder, perhaps more apt.
I like that. Oh.
And if you're
Okay.
curious, you are the knowledgeable one. Looking at Fig.
I don't like this.
Nerd.
Thing is, he's had multiple pamphlets of like, do not approach Faye, do not detect the Faye, do not interact, stay away.
Yes, you have.
Mm. Mm. Ah. He's going through his mind on like, wait, what did I read in them? What did I read in them? What did I read in them? He's forgotten.
He's the knowledgeable one. How could you forget?
Didn't think he'd come upon one.
You know that thing where you speak 3 languages and you forget the word for water in all 3 of them?
Oh, yeah.
Fair.
So, did you wish to know anything else before I depart? I believe you have a scene change to get to.
Yes or no, will Jeremiah be living with us in this current plane in like the next week?
I
Good.
I do not know about the end of the week, however, he will be living for part.
Fig is going back through his pamphlets. He's trying to find.
Fig is ripping out pamphlets from his bag.
No, I left these in Hawkshire.
You're gonna have to go back to your mentor, ask for more Fae pamphlets.
See that the pamphlets that are like falling on the floor are like Fae related?
No,
There's
no.
more
One of them is best practices for archaeology in plains. One of them is basic dwarvish conversation starters. One of them is Tom Tom and you beginner's worship of the dwarvish god of craftwork.
Do you have an extreme
Oh.
teen Bible
Ooh.
for Tom Tom?
Can I do one thing
My
that's it'd be sort of like a bonus action, but I'm like,
I mean, you're
if
not
I
in
need to
combat,
do
so
like
those don't
a
exist.
yeah, a charisma or like deception that like I'm not trying to hurt it, but I'm trying to see what it'll do if like I take some of my iron sling pellets and I throw it in their direction.
Yeah, give me
Because I'm taking stuff out of my bag.
a
And
deception.
as I see it,
Give me a
Yeah.
deception roll to see if you can convince it that you're not trying to throw them at it.
yep. Please be better. Please be better.
Please
You
be
were
better. That's what I ask every day. So Fig, it knows that you're trying to throw sling pellets at it.
Yeah.
However, you do notice that they bounce off of its legs. The
Yep.
same way they would any humanoid that is not a fae.
Yep.
It looks
Like,
at you
oh,
and you
oh, I'm
almost
so sorry.
imperceptibly it cocks its head a little bit, but it doesn't say anything.
Nope. Yep. Oh,
Able to see this
I'm so
happening
sorry.
with the
I-
pellets.
I am very I want to roll persuasion.
Yeah,
I'm
roll
very
persuasion.
flustered right now.
You're allowed to roll
But I'm
persuasion.
very flustered right now.
What is Sunny K? Are
Yeah.
you all right? What's happening?
I can't ask the question I want to ask because I'm not Yuka around. No,
What you want to ask?
you'll figure it out. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that persuasion is going to work. What are you convincing it of?
That it was a full total mistake and that I'm very clumsy as a person in my non-field of study.
It uncocks its head.
DM,
Yeah.
would I notice the pellets?
Yeah.
Like being
Yeah, you would.
great. Good to know.
Well, if there's nothing else then, I can speed up your travel.
Where are we going?
I believe it is time for the witch.
Oh, yes, Yuka! Completely forgot. I'm sorry.
Whoa, Sunny K, how did that
not-
feel?
I didn't forget.
Normal.
Cam did.
Normal.
Normal. If I'm to be a proper doctor, as you say is my intended role, it would be rather irresponsible for me to not ensure the safety and well-being of my patient or any patient in my care. So I want your word that Jeremiah will be unharmed.
He will not be any further harmed than he was when I appeared.
Is he going to stay this way? And I know, I know, divulging secrets about the Playboy, that would spoil things, wouldn't it? However, this is a man's body, and you're treating
Oh.
it like a plaything,
Oh,
and
you
I don't much care for that.
misunderstand. That is fine. You will understand indeed. Jeremiah
Misunderstand?
Jeremiah, where are you?
and the TrageDM gestures at itself. While I appeared where Jeremiah stood, this is not him. He will
So
be no
he's
more
elsewhere
nor less
now.
harmed than he was when you last saw him.
Okay, so Cam is like slowly getting a crush on this person because they're fascinating.
Amazing.
My lesbian powers have saved me from Val's freaky guys yet again.
I make the best guys. They're all just a little bit insane.
A little bit.
Love it.
Okay.
Well,
But which, yes.
time for you to be off then. And with one last, very deep, very dramatic bow.
Oh, 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 oh.
Oh,
Is there a way to contact you again?
well, I
Please,
cannot.
please.
Well, I cannot guarantee I will be the one to respond. There is
Oh.
always one of us, if not more.
Ugh,
No.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you and goodbye then, I guess.
I will let you know if I remember.
Cam's like
Okay.
twirling their hair around their finger, like, oh, okay, cool.
And then with one last, very, very dramatic bow, very deep bow,
Curtsy back.
a few things happen. You all remember that as it bows, you begin. As it bows, you see a curtain fall around it. One of those like circular magician's curtains. And when the curtains open again, the TrageDM is gone.
I want those.
You also remember that you travel outside of Ironcliff. You wave goodbye to the boys, and then you walk for about a half a day until you reach the edge of the dangerous and ancient woods. You remember that as you reach the woods, a small hare pops out to greet you, and the plants almost appear to recede from your path as you continue into the forest. After only about an hour of travel through the forest, you come to a clearing, and that is where your memories stop, and you begin to be present again. You see in front of you an orange pod. 3 of you, not Vasil, know that within that pod, with hyphae crawling down her lungs, crawling into her veins, sleeps Yuka, the steward of the woods. The last of you have seen this pod before in your nightmares. It thrums and it throbs with phloem that is distinctly inhuman. Cam, with your passive perception, you hear a rustling in the trees. And you see that alighting on one of the branches is what looks to be a hawk. Mid-sized, about what would be used for falconry.
Katie.
It stares at you, and you get the distinct sense that if it had lips, it would be smiling in a lazy way.
It's a bird. Why are you waving at a bird? Scared the living daylights out of me.
It's a pretty bird.
Hey there, berries. What brings you back?
Ah, I see why you're now greeting the bird.
Who's this? Smells bad.
It's the I believe Yuka cursed him, and he has come to
Oh, is this the doctor?
Uncurse,
not
if
a
you will.
doctor.
Not a doctor?
No. Just what are you like a businessman? Right? Yeah, that no, not really. Not a trader, not a physician, not a
And you are
not
the
a
witch's familiar, I presume?
As you're watching and as you're sort of talking amongst yourselves, you watch as this bird launches itself off of the branch towards the center of the clearing.
Jesus.
You
Is
see,
it flying towards us or
no, it's towards the center of the clearing.
Okay.
You see as it gets within, like yay much to the ground, it launches its talons out, and you hear a scream that gets cut off. And as it flies back up to the branch, you see held in one of its talons is a field mouse that it lazily begins ripping the flesh off of.
Delightful.
Sure, I'll go with
Yeah.
familiar for now. See where this goes.
sounds pretty nice?
I'm not
I wish to
not
dance with
correcting it.
no matter of devilry or deific worship. I'm merely here to set something to rights.
Well, by all means, I won't stop you.
Such
going to
fucking dad.
It's going to very slowly and unceremoniously make his way closer to the pod. And would he have recognized this as the same hyphae that he saw on Throgan's person in Throgan when he had...
It is not the same hyphae.
You saw it on notes.
You saw it on the notes.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Okay,
You saw it on the notes.
cool. He's going to walk up to the pod.
Mm-hmm.
look inside. Is it very opaque, or can he see her through it?
Walking up to it, it looks almost like a shark egg, where it is translucent enough that you can see like light and darkness inside and you can see movement inside, but you can't actually make out details. And the closer you get to it, the more you can notice those small hyphae basically building the outside of the pod, running inside. You see a bunch of them like flowing into this woman's mouth. You see that her hair, this long dark hair that she has, almost appears to melt into the hyphae itself as it crawls out of her eyes, into her ears, down through her veins. It grows in and out of her as much as it would a dead body. Vasil, the small bit of teeth that you can see from this woman, it is terrifying. It is the same apathy and disgust and disdain that you saw when she cursed you. Two sharp
I then go
canines
up.
for a woman.
I go up to sort of like lean over Vasil's shoulder and be like, keep on going.
Yep,
You,
right.
You do it.
Yeah.
Join behind them, but I want to like wrap my cloak around my arm so the hawk can sit on my arm if he chooses to wish so.
Seeing this, the hawk will immediately swoop down and alight. And you notice that its grip, even through your cloak, is very, very light. Like, it is sharp. You could tell that if this had landed on your wrist, it would have still cut you. But he is taking a lot of care to not harm you. Thanks, berries.
Berries. I'm getting all the nicknames today. This is awesome.
What's the other nickname?
I mean, I was called like
Fair,
the
but-
Molder or something.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going with it. I got so many pet names from this crush.
He's gonna undo the seal, unfurl the scroll, and put his hand on the pod near her head. And read the incantation.
Vasil, as you undo the seal, you watch as this glowing magic streams out of the scroll. It looks almost like a thread of fate that sparkles with shimmer, with light, with sparkles coming off of it. It wraps around you, it wraps around the scroll, and it wraps down your arm until it reaches the pod. Opening the scroll, this thing that you could not read earlier, all of a sudden the runes and the writing on it twist into a shape where you still don't consciously understand. But some part of you that is unknown, that is not conscious, but between conscious and subconscious, is able to understand and is able to form the words. You feel, Vasil, something change. That's a Valentine cough. That's not a Vasil cough. You feel something change.
It'd be funny.
It'd be funny. You feel something change. For the next little bit of narration, Sunny K, you are no longer Vasil.
You're free.
You all watch
I'm
From one
free.
bastard to another.
as Vasil begins
I'm free.
the incantation. And as Vasil begins the incantation and as his half-elven tongue forms these syllables, you would all see almost imperceptibly a glow fade out of him. Cam. It seems familiar somehow, but you can't place exactly why. And as you see this glow fade off of Vasil, you see a similar glow begin to fade into and onto Yuka, this witch in the pod that is currently slumbering. Yuka, Sunny K, Yuka. You feel your eyes shoot open and you see nothing but goo. Orange with light streaming through it. You feel it moving against your eyeballs, thick, viscous, and you feel hyphae crawling into your eye socket, into your brain, and wrapping around it. Is it too much, Rose? I will stop.
No,
Okay.
it's great, but it's
You feel in your veins as your blood judders back into motion. Your heart begins to beat again. Taking your first breath, you feel sludge down your. You can breathe, but it is not pleasant in here, in this primordial room you've ever experienced. Your claws, your nails, your talons sharp, unwet by time. And you see standing above you the shadow of the man who did this to you.
I just stare at him. Mouth agape, teeth bared. She just
I'm looking into the pod. I'm like, did it work?
That's
Did
cute.
it work?
Yuka, what do you do, Yuka?
I think with a kind of adrenaline that has spiked up way too fast to be healthy, she shoots her hand out of the ivy and just grabs Vasil by the shirt right over his heart.
Oh.
Oh no.
Cam, Big,
Uh,
you see blood begin to seep out from around Yuka's fingernails.
Yuka, please let him go. We
Good.
need doctors.
Good.
Or
She'll
we're good.
semi-doctors.
She'll unflex her hand real quick.
Some with like a not Hawk holding hand, I pull Vasil back and just go, "You dumb bitch," and I heal him. Like, oh shit, oh fuck.
Cam, as you cast your healing magic, you all see as the flesh begins to just knit itself back together, but you can still see the 5 tears through his dress shirt and through his jacket.
I'm back, baby.
Get me away from her. She's horrible. She's awful.
I
Vile
just let
woman.
him go.
I mean, if you want to leave right now, you can go do so. I don't know if you know the way out of the woods, but
Yuka is going to gesture her hand toward the hawk.
Yeah.
Of course.
Just
hawk-
just fingers twitching.
The hawk looks at you. You sure you want me on there? You ain't got any protect. You ain't got anything on you.
She can't say anything because she's still stuck in there.
I mean, well, have you tried?
Big question. Would that be a roll or would that be just do it?
Just do it.
Oh, fabulous. I thought she was stuck in there. In that case, she's going to reach in a way that shoulders should not go onto like the side of the pod where it is on like a bed of vine and branch, and she's just going to shove her whole upper body out of there and rip the hyphae out of her mouth like it's an intubator.
There you go. As you move and as you rip it out, you feel it as it extracts from you the entire time, feeling every stretch, every pull, this stuff is so ingrained in you at this point because it was basically siphoning out this poisonous, this infection. As you pull it out, you are leaving behind as much of it as you are removing. And you feel it just screaming out, not in pain as a human would understand it, but in something that is very, very much more associated with with the Lady Verdant. Sorry. The rest of you, you see hyphae and blood and flesh in equal measure coming out. Pulls this out of her.
Yeah.
The ones that were in her eyes, they rip from the pod behind her and just dangle there. Wet. Gore.
That can't be comfortable.
It's
Uh,
not.
Big, like, he's like first going to help, and then it's like, I'm gonna get a piece of cloth.
She just points to her house.
Mhm.
Don't touch the ones on the
Right,
shelf.
right, yeah, no, of course not.
Fig, going into the
I
house, you see
searched
that
the
there is a
clearing.
bird there that is picking something up.
Yep. Hello. I just need a dish rag, garbage rag,
He points
whatever
to
you,
like a wandering
spare
line
rag.
that's got some things on it.
Yep. I take the dirtiest one I see and I come over.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh no.
They're clean. They're just completely stained brown and red. From what? I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, I come back and then like with that maybe like wrapped around my hand, I like help up the best I can.
Yeah. Yuka, you are fully able to move. You feel sluggish as if you were woken up from a nap during REM sleep, like during your deep sleep. But you are, for all intents and purposes, healed. You may return your max HP to normal. You may level up to level 3.
Thank you. She's just gonna look at Vasil. The debt is repaid.
Good.
You are no longer cursed.
Good.
I should certainly hope that you've learned something today.
I've learned that heathenry is alive and well.
Oh, damn it, Kutsel. That's such a shame.
Then you've learned nothing.
I've seen more than enough to know where this is.
Then I would
pray
say
it
it's for
takes
good reason that you're but a bachelor and not a doctor.
Well, it was thorough.
She's going to hold on a second. Let me see if I can do something.
Hmm.
She's going to use Druidcraft
Yeah.
to make the blades of grass underneath the fronts of his feet angle up very sharply and suddenly, as if to push him back. Get out of my woods now.
So, Yuka, you may do this. However, it is not going to actually have an effect underneath his feet. You'd be able to basically move all of the blades of grass around where he is standing, but not underneath his feet specifically, because the grass would not be able to hold that weight.
Okay.
Yeah,
She's just gonna try to scare him.
I figured. I just wanted to let you know about that. Now it's time for me to.
And then hold her arm out for the Lord Bestial to land on.
Once again, the Lord Bestial looks at you and looks at the fact that you don't have any cloth protecting your arm.
We've done this before.
Yeah, fair enough. He
done this before.
lands on your arm. There are now talons in your arm. You will take 1 point of damage. You will start bleeding.
Okay.
How do I roll a charisma save as this guy? I think it's like that. Great. You will watch as Vasil just sort of witch and turns around and walks out of the woods. very clearly he is trying to keep it together and not appear like he is fleeing, but he is definitely hurrying a little bit more than Cam and Fig, you have seen him hurry before.
Which is impressive, given that this guy is hurried out of every dangerous situation ever.
You see, ever so slightly in front of him, some vines slither out of the way. Yuka, this is
Thank
very
you for
much in
seeing
a way
out.
of, I am not providing you passage because I wish to. I'm providing you passage because I must stay with my steward. Yuka, you
Mhm.
very, very much feel like you are being watched by the oaks.
In Primordial, she's going to turn her head to the Lord Bestial and is going to profusely thank him for keeping watch over her and providing the party with safe entry.
Well, I
It was
have to.
great. I love this forest.
I will state for Yuka, this is a response in Primordial. For everyone else, this is a response in your native tongue. Of course I did. I mean, pack don't let go of its weakest members. Mouse? It's a half-eaten field mouse.
She's going to take it in her free hand and then just like affectionately bonk her head against his head.
Bonk! And then he flies off. And he flies out of the clearing specifically.
So,
You hear every bone in that mouse crunch as Yuka takes a bite.
You should probably cook it, and I produce a flake on my hand.
very thoughtful. I prefer them raw.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's the tale.
Yeah.
sometimes raw food's like a delicacy in some cultures. I've seen some wild fish dishes. Anyway.
Okay.
So, something has changed.
Ah,
So many things have changed. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Something is different now. Distinctly, cosmically different.
yeah.
I actually have one
interesting you
further
can
question. Hang on.
tell that,
Hold
'cause-
on. DM has
Okay.
one question. DM Valentine has one question before we continue. Sunny K.
Yeah.
Vasil had an item in his bag.
He did, yeah.
What did you do with that item before?
It's just in his.
passing it?
It's just in his bag
Yeah.
right now. Still, I think. I think that what he would do.
Unless you want to pass it off to your new character, it is going to stay in his bag.
I think that what he would do is once he's at the edge of the wood, I think that like he just wants to wash the feeling off of him, so he tosses it out of his bag and
Perfect,
into the
okay.
edge of the wood.
Cheers, thank you. This tells me what to do with it. Please continue. Please continue your roleplay.
There's something wrong.
Yeah. We've encountered a few things. How do I describe this? Cam, they felt fey-ish, but not quite. And then there's like an illness and a sickness and like gray ashy
What?
bits and other things. I can't speak off the cuff. I have to write it down. It doesn't. Can you? So sorry, Lady Yuka. Yeah, there's something weird happening.
Sim fake is back. I love it.
Thank you for coming back.
Oh, yes.
Well, this guy was not gonna get here by himself.
No, I imagine he wouldn't.
He didn't even
Not
know how
without
to camp.
great
Anyway.
difficulty.
Yeah. But if this I mean, other thing, DM, I still have Vasil's papers.
Yes, you do.
Anyway.
Yes, you do. Yes, I know you do.
do.
I'm aware.
I'm also aware.
Great. Glad we're both aware of this. I don't know what you're planning with this, but yeah, I know you have them.
No, I'm
Wait,
just glad I still have him.
Okay.
I just wanted to
Would-
hold it over his head.
Okay. It's being held.
That
It's held.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you wish to keep this as a souvenir, because I think he has no money left, so he can't pay us anything more for it.
Oh.
So unless he gets something for that, I think we keep it. We went through quite a fair bit of trouble to get a hold of it.
If I may make something extremely clear,
Mhm.
whatever is happening will impact the forest, and it is my responsibility as steward to ensure its utmost safety. And that is not to say that every creature will survive in here, that every blade of grass will grow from seedling into mature stem, for that's not the way of nature. But this threatens nature. And so I will go with you to investigate it, but know always my allegiance, first and foremost, is to the Lord Bestial and the Lady Verdant. And my first title is the Steward of this wood. I will go with you. But should I be called back, I will go, without question.
Ah,
Do we have an understanding?
yes, that is very wise of you, Lady Yuka, to have, hold to your promises and responsibilities.
Boy Scout answer.
One second.
Fig a Boy Scout? I don't know.
Does Fig speak primordial?
Oh, no, he's mostly the races, languages, and then a little bit of Draconic.
She's gonna spook him a little. In primordial, she's gonna look right at Fig and say very quietly, "You are not a child. You do not need to smile at me simperingly to gain my impress or affection. If you've proven to me just how scholarly, worldly, and bright you are, the respect shall come easily. Don't try so hard." But that's all in primordial, so he has no idea what she's fucking saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh. Could
Dr.
Cam, just from seeing this happen, get an idea of what was said?
Insight.
Probably. Almost certainly.
I
Yuka,
suppose
what's your charisma?
Charisma, you say?
I said charisma.
The modifier?
Yeah, that'll work. It
It's just
is a +0.
Roll a roll.
Okay. This works. Yeah, Cam, you're pretty sure this was not a threat. You're pretty sure that this was just like a dude chill. You get essentially the vibes, but not the message itself.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, two main parts. We have a figure named Trage. Cam, you got it? Yes, that. Who seems to be playing with people as in a sort of production, and Dr. Marog doesn't see the illness as we see it, but also says that it might also be happening in Baratara as well.
Describe this creature, this TrageDM, to me.
I happily
Yeah.
describe TrageDM in as much detail as I managed to pick up.
You picked up a
And
lot of
this is
detail.
what I
Can't
wanted.
do that.
This is what I wanted to ask earlier. So, taking in mind that this is a creature that is very slim, emaciated looking, hides into the shadows.
Yeah.
Is this the creature that Yuka would have seen before? Hiding between the trees that flickers in and out.
Oh, I see what you're asking. It is not.
Oh, damn.
But you
Okay.
have seen that figure.
But I've seen TrageDM.
No, you've not seen the TrageDM.
No. Okay.
But you have seen the figure hiding between the trees before.
Okay.
In
Recently,
fact,
or
you remember threatening them.
This one. I forgot his name. He?
The certain merchant.
I do
Yeah,
believe
we
we have a
spoke to-
merchant to find.
Yeah, we spoke to him earlier. Actually, I think Vasil had something that in his pockets. I don't.
Vasil took
probably
the
left
boat
with it.
art.
Yeah.
It's on its way.
Okay. Do you want to roll me
Okay.
a intelligence save?
Intelligence save.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. 22.
Oh wow, a 20. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wasn't expecting that. Okay. Okay.
Direct.
19 on the die. As you say that. As you say, I'm sure it's on its way. You get a flash through your brain. Maybe it's the hyphae digging themselves in. Maybe it's your job as a steward. Maybe it's something more dramatic. You get a flash that if you send either of your patrons to retrieve this, they will fall. And I think that is where we end our session
Hey, what? No.
today. What do you mean, no?
Oh no. You just threatened to kill my mom and dad.
I threatened to kill one of them if they go to retrieve it.
Dude, that's my mom and dad.
Do you call it off? Do you call off that it's on its way to you?
Yeah. Yeah. She does.
It's in your woods somewhere. You don't know where.
Leave it. Leave it be.
You get the distinct
I'm-
sense that an order has been, not an order, but that a request has been made. Has been
Well,
acknowledged.
that's something to investigate.
So, we are going to end our session here for today. I do believe I've left you with at least 3 plot hooks now. 2 of them came up this session. Actually, all 3 of them came up this session because we also had Jeremiah. I believe I've left you with 3 plot hooks. I am actually going to take the next like 10-ish minutes in our normal game time to actually ask you guys, what do you think you guys are going to do next? Because that helps me as a DM plan for things.
I open the floor to those two because I'm down for whatever.
Yeah, just for in-character sickness, Fig, he has gotten involved in too many weird, overpowered things / deities / outworldly things that he just wants to do a request to go to another city.
All right. Yeah.
That like I would like to go to a library, look up some names.
All right, big votes for Baratara, it seems.
Yeah, because he's gotten involved in like at least like 3 too many deities, and he wants to limit that.
That's fair. Rose, do you have any preferences?
Fascinated by TrageDM. So they just want to, I don't know, see if they can find them again.
Okay. That's very good to know. Thank you. And Sunny K.
I am down for any of the plot hooks, honestly. I think it'd be fun to see the merchant again, but very specifically because I'm trying to figure out what the hell happened with the items.
I can see like doing that on our way out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Just not spend as much time. This was a very Sunny K centric episode today. So I want to toss it onto somebody else.
That would.
All right. Well,
that would probably involve you a fair amount.
I will make sort of an executive decision here that I'm gonna think about what you all have said. I think what is probably the best for the party to do at this point is one of 2 things. Keeping in mind that every option has both consequences and rewards for going that direction. It sounds like the party is going to be moving towards Baratara. This will be moving away from the Shield Brothers, along with Jeremiah. This will also be moving away from the item that Vasil has left in the woods.
Yep.
Confirming this with my lovely players.
I'm sure Feather will be devastated to miss their date.
Yeah,
I have an OC question I'd like to ask for DM's sake, if that's not metagaming too
No,
much.
go ahead, please. I cannot promise I will answer it, but I would love to hear it.
Off stream. I don't want to spoil anything for parties who don't know about
Shocked.
something.
Okay. Yeah, you can ask it to me off stream. I cannot guarantee I will answer.
Okay.
Then, with that being done, that is us done for this week. I would like to make a quick announcement to both my players as well as the viewers, which is that we will not be playing next weekend. Instead, we will be back here for our campaign, hopefully, on July 21st. I also want to give a very, very early warning that the first 2 weekends of August, that is August 3rd and August 10th, we will not be having a session, so we're going to be a little bit slower during these summer holidays. However, we will be back and we will hopefully be continuing our lovely, lovely campaign. As always, keep following my Patreon and my Ko-fi. Both are free to follow if you want to have updates on when we will be streaming, especially in these next couple of weeks while I have some like personal IRL stuff going on. That schedule might get changed last minute. Aside from all of that, my dearest players, if you have anything you would like to shout out, please go ahead.
Follow Elise RPG on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. That way you can keep up with all the VODs and recordings of streams that Elise has done. Plus, it's a great way to support him individually. You can also subscribe to his Patreon and send him money on Ko-fi. so he can continue to be financially supported in the things that he does, because DMing is hard work and he deserves to reap the benefits of a grateful audience.
Yeah. And if you like the podcast and the stream and want other people to know about it, tell them about it.
Yes. Yes. Please let folks know that you liked our stuff, that you liked the stream. On various social medias, we will be extremely grateful. Thank you. If you like music that's not awful, you can also maybe check out heysunnyk.bandcamp.com.
They make good music. Hey, Sunny K, actually, I got a question for you. Did you get that Bar
Yeah?
song uploaded?
It's on its way.
It's almost like
Fixing up a
we
couple
planned
of-
this because we were siblings.
There's something on its way. It'll be ready probably mid-August, end of August.
Nice. Well, I look forward to it.
Still cooking it.
Yep, okay. Well, with all
Very
that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely week or a lovely 2 weeks, I guess, until I see you again. And I hope all of your games go well and you're able to play once more. Ta-ta.